Now, it's a murder that shocked a nation. A little girl killed just days after the outbreak of World War II. The killer was never caught, and now cold case detectives are trying to find new clues. But ITV Wales has learned that only this week police discovered that the prime suspect is now dead. For the family of Joyce Cox, they still want answers. Here's our correspondent, Rob Osborne.
It's a cold day in September 1939. And police are out searching woodland for a missing girl. Then, in the distance, a dog barks. A body's been found by a railway embankment.
Yeah, the location is it's around 50 metres away from this bridge on the right-hand side. Her body was found at the top
Detective
of,
Mark O'Shea is trying to solve a murder mystery. Who killed 4-year-old Joyce Cox? It's a question unanswered for 78 years, but it's one he hopes to solve. So Mark, what have we got here? A lot of evidence.
Yes, we have, Rob. This is the original case file that was prepared by the Glamorgan Constabulary in 1939. It contains all of the original statements and reports that the detectives of the day compiled in their efforts to try and detect this dreadful murder.
So, what do we know? Joyce went missing on September the 28th, 1939. Her body was found the next day. She was last seen around 12:45 in the afternoon in an area of the Cardiff suburb of Whitchurch known as Lucky Lane. Over 1,000 people were interviewed in the murder investigation, but no culprit was ever found. And Joyce was murdered just days after the Second World War broke out.
I believe, based on the original reports, that Joyce was murdered around about this area, and the murderer hid her body.
Why are we focusing on a murder that happened decades ago where the possibility of closing it is remote?
It's a question I often get asked, and a lot of cold case detectives also get asked this question. As far as murder is concerned, there is always surviving family members who have got an interest in achieving justice or some measure of closure.
There is Terry and his brother Peter, who are Joyce's cousins.
It never, ever leaves you.
They do disagree with aspects of the original investigation, but they do agree they want this solved.
We're able to move on. That's what we want to do as a family.
Can you move on?
No, I can't. No, I would never be able to move on. I'm hoping that my family will, with this, this terrible atrocity in the background all the time. And hopefully that the police, will be able to say, look, we've done our bit. We think we've got the right person.
But that's dependent on new information. Was there a deathbed confession? Did someone have information they never passed on? And timing is important because it's running out.
Realistically, it's probably the last time we invest as much effort as we have done on this occasion. This is the third time that this case has been reviewed by South Wales Police since 2004. That said, if new information does come forward, we would obviously relook at it again.
A little girl, sexually assaulted and murdered. It would shock a nation today, as it did back in 1939. But who did it to Joyce Cox? This is probably the last chance to find out. Rob Osborne, ITV News.